This video was made possible by Brilliant. Learn with Brilliant for 20% off by being one of the first 200 to sign up at brilliant.org/HAI. Welcome to Plymouth, the capital of the island nation of Montserrat, a British overseas territory. I mean, wow, just look at this city teem with life. A beautiful seaside UK city. Wait a minute, Tesco, Weatherspoons, Adidas tracksuits. This is the wrong Plymouth, UK. Sorry. Here's Plymouth, the capital of the island nation of Montserrat, a British overseas territory. I mean, wow, just look at the city team with life. Where is everyone? What happened to the buildings? Why does the city look like the location of a Scooby-Doo mystery? Alright, well, it's rewind time. So, the island of Montserrat, a tropical Caribbean paradise with beautiful beaches, majestic vistas, a gigantic active volcano, and a capital city that has absolutely zero people living in it. And if you're wondering if those last two are related, congratulations. You've won the Best Noticer of Obvious Foreshadowing award. You can redeem your award at the end. Montserrat is located here, in the Leeward Island chain of the Lesser Antilles, West Indies. Once again, it's an overseas territory of the UK, one of the 14 remaining territories left over from what was once the British Empire. Now, the British Empire was a bit like sand, coarse and rough and irritating, and it just got everywhere. The British have, of course, taken a 180 now, as they're trying, instead of being on every continent, to be on none. But back on track, Plymouth, the capital of Montserrat, is located here, and at its peak it was home to the island's only port of entry and was the nation's largest city, which, to be fair, meant only 4,000 people, which is fewer than the number of people that follow me on Instagram. Not to brag or anything. Now, remember the giant looming volcano? Like I said before, Plymouth is here, and the Soufriere Hills volcano is here. Now, volcanoes and cities go together like ice cream and tuna. Incredibly poorly. The volcano had been dormant for over 100 years until 1995 when it underwent what's known as a phreatic explosion. Basically, magma underneath the volcano heated up groundwater, but because the magma is so hot, it turns the water into steam instantly. That instant transition from water to steam created an explosion, and in the case of the Soufriere Hills volcano, it caused tons of ash and rock to be shot up out of the volcano. In simpler terms, the volcano started spitting ash all over the town of Plymouth, and that meant that everyone living there left. Because if there's one thing that'll dampen a town's nightlife more than old people armed with a non-emergency number, it's being blanketed in a thick sheet of volcanic ash. But after the evacuation, Plymouth bounced back. A few months later, residents returned to the city, they started to rebuild, Plymouth would rise again, and it's gone. See, when the volcano stopped the phreatic explosions, it was actually in the process of forming what's called a lava dome, which is like the Thunderdome, except for in every imaginable way. A lava dome is exactly what it sounds like. A giant dome of lava that's made by the lava slowly coming out and then cooling into a dome, but then in 1997, the lava dome collapsed, causing more eruptions and what's known as a pyroclastic flow, which is when hot gas and volcanic matter starts rushing down the volcano at about 100 kilometers or 60 American meters per hour. So like, very fast. Sonic level terrifying. There, that's better. Now, if you're wondering what's even worse for a city's nightlife than being covered in ash, it's that town being destroyed by a flood of gas and volcanic ash. About 80% of Plymouth was destroyed, and at that point, the people of Plymouth decided that they had enough and left for good, along with most of the island, causing Montserrat's population to drop from 12,000 to only about 1,200, with most going to the United Kingdom. The entire southern half of the island has now been sectioned off as an exclusion zone that people are not allowed to go into, and in that exclusion zone is the nation's capital, Plymouth, which is why nobody lives in the nation's capital. But the island of Montserrat would not be kept down. They have slowly rebuilt and now boast a population of about 5,200 people. The de facto capital is now the city of Braids, a town of about 1,000 people located here outside the exclusion zone. Braids was originally just an interim spot for the government in 1998 after the volcano, but because nobody's ever moved back to Plymouth, all government business has happened in Braids for the last 20 years. They've even rebuilt all the government buildings here, but Plymouth remains the legal capital of Montserrat mostly because nobody's ever really gotten around to changing it, making it the only ghost town anywhere in the world to be a nation's capital. Now, of course you're probably waiting for your prize for winning the Best Noticer of Obvious Foreshadowing award. You get the gift of learning. That's because you can get started learning on Brilliant right now for free at brilliant.org/HAI. They, of course, have superbly designed courses on everything from computational biology to games of chance. They don't teach through rote memorization. They teach through teaching you the principles behind a concept and guiding you to understand how to use these in context. A fantastic new addition to Brilliant is that you can now download their courses offline on their mobile app so that you can learn no matter where you are. It's a great way to fill those small moments in your day. You can start learning for free at brilliant.org/HAI, and then being one of the first 200 to use that link will also get you 20% off their annual premium subscription.